Hello? Hi everyone! It'd be really great if you can actually come closer to the front for the closing remarks. We already have so many seats unfilled up here. Michael and I just want some friends, so y'all can come up rather than sitting in the rows in the back. So yeah, get closer with each other too. We're gonna do some stuff that involves being next to other people, so. Bye! Hello? Hi everyone! Welcome back from your last round of workshops. How was it? Good? Good? Thumbs up if you had a good day of workshops. Hey, okay, we're doing good. Woo! Yeah, thanks so much for coming back here for our closing remarks. We hope you had a day full of learning. I think we've all heard some very different perspectives from our keynote panelists to our speaker, and then I'm sure you learned many different things too in your workshops. But I think Michael and I feel like oftentimes in the conferences, the programming is often so booked with workshops and speakers, and there's not as much space made for us to actually reflect on what we learned throughout the day. But it's really important that we actually take the time to do so, because I think we need to really think about how we can use all this knowledge that we gained today to move forward or to carry that out into tangible actions. So we actually wanted to use this time to kind of create that reflection period. And this is something actually based on LTS 2015. Our co-chairs then, Annie and Gaozong, had done a session called Breaking the Silence, where they wanted to allow folks to collectively heal together. It was based on the theme that year about just collective healing. And in this session, folks were able to share out about any of their thoughts or emotions. And so to build on the work of our mentors, we also want to break the silence, because I think we spent the whole day listening to the silence by learning about issues affecting Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. So therefore, that's the idea behind this time right now. So think about it as a time for us to think through the whole day, right? Like you heard, again, just recapping from the panelists about the Asian American movement to the keynote speaker about how we can work in solidarity with other communities currently in our unique political moment. So, but what does this all mean and what do we do? So what we're going to do is to ask you a series of questions, and we ask that you turn to your neighbor to talk about your thoughts to these questions. And then after each question, we're actually going to run around and kind of like pass the mic to you because we want to hear your thoughts too, and you to be able to share with everyone in this room. And it's just like what Gregory said. I think none of this, we can't do this work alone. We need to be in the movement together and to learn and process together. And therefore, we want to share with each other what we've learned today. So does that make sense with everyone? So logistically speaking, we're going to ask you a bunch of questions. We want you to share pair with your partner, and then we'll have like a share out. Does that sound good? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, Michael, would you like to ask the first question to the audience?
Yes. Okay, awesome. It wasn't working really cool. So the first question is, what is something new you learned today? What is something new you learned today?
Please turn to the person next to you and talk about what's something new you learned today. Okay, you can wrap it up with your neighbor. Finish up some final thoughts. Is there anyone who would like to share what you discussed with your partner about what's something new you learned today? Yes? And if you can introduce yourself too,
Hi, my name is Edward Kim, and I'm from UCSC, Santa Cruz, Banana Slug. So one thing I learned was the importance of art and music, and in terms of like really thinking through how we can use it as an outlet of expression and like as a tool for solidarity. And it just really touched me once again. I always think about like music and how it's always done a lot of good for me, but this time today I thought more on how I could be using it as a tool to communicate to others about like community problems and stuff like that. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Michael, would you like to find someone else?
Hi everyone, I'm Salai. I'm a freshman at Stanford University. I think something that one of the workshop coordinators said that really resonated with me was to not only listen to the silence, but to listen for the silence.
Great, thank you, Salai.
Yes?
Hey guys, what's up? My name's Noah. I'm a freshman at UC Santa Cruz. Hey, where my bananas like that? What's up, guys? Hey guys. So one workshop that particularly stuck with me was about the portrayal of Asian Americans in Hollywood movies and how throughout most of history we were never really portrayed as the leads in movies or as romantic love interests, or how there would be inter-Asian casting where they simply just cast a Korean to play a Chinese character, etc., etc. But we also found ourselves discussing possible solutions to this problem. But we're also seeing progress in the media today with people like Glenn from The Walking Dead, or what was it? Who was I gonna say? Oh yeah, White Rose from Mr. Robot. Yeah. These people know what I'm talking about. Finally, someone else watches this show. Thank God. But at the same time, it's to the Asian Americans who are into the arts. Don't lose your passion for it. Push forward and prove that we are more than just engineers and doctors. We can be performers too. We can sing, we can act, we can dance, and not just act as the kooky foreigner. We can take a serious dramatic role that's Oscar worthy. You'll inspire generations of Asian actors doing that.
Thank you.
Do we have? Oh, awesome. What's up, y'all? My name is Helen, and I'm a grad student at San Jose State. No one from San Jose State out here? Just me? Okay, so I went to this really good, they're talking about anti-Black racism with our families workshop this morning. It was super rad. And one thing that I really liked for the takeaway was when we're having these really difficult conversations with our loved ones, is to remember to look to like the values of the people we're talking about and to be able to kind of meet them where they're at. And I feel like that's so essential for like community building. It's like it's not just like sending out like emails and letters and things, but it's like talking with the people in our lives and to be able to like slowly change their minds and bring them along on this like progressive route by meeting them where they're at and bringing them with us. And like it reminded me about like, hey, we have to see what's important to the people in our lives and kind of start the dialogue from there versus kind of like have an argument and debate them into agreeing with us. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow, some really cool workshops out there. Yay! Thanks, workshops committee. Yay! I think now we'll ask the next question then. The next question that we wanted to ask all of you is, what is something that you envision in a more just world? And please discuss this with your fellow neighbors again. Please wrap up your last sentence with your neighbors. All right, who would like to share with us what's something that you talked about with your people? Okay, I see a hand over here. I'm gonna scoot in here. Sorry, Dee.
Hi, my name is Anthony. I go to Lake Liberty High School. Um, and in the future, I envision a very recurring theme with like privilege is that very often when someone is born, their life is already kind of predetermined for them because like how much money their family is when they're like born. They don't have any control over that, right? And whatever school they go to, what they're taught from, or like what habits their parents teach them, what their preschool teaches them, very much predetermines how they are when they grow up. And in a more just world, perhaps there should be less people controlling what people learn, what habits people have, what people like, less higher up people kind of like pulling the strings on what people think and what society thinks of right, so that people can make opinions for themselves and make decisions for themselves.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Justin. I'm from UC San Diego. Thank you. So the question was, what do we envision in a more just society? And I was thinking, like, from all the workshops and from all the people I met today, I just kind of learned that like it's never too early or too late to be able to join a cause like this, to be able to like realize your political identity, or Asian American identity, whatever identity you have. It's never too early or too late to get involved in social justice and trying to create a more equitable world for other people. I wish that like my parents were here and like my younger sister were here to be able to learn all this with me. And yeah, I mean, I wish like this. I'm fairly late to the game when it comes to like Asian American studies, but at any point earlier in my life, I could have seen myself here as like one of the high school students running like the workshops, which the one I was attending for Know Your Rights, Dating Violence 101, shout out to them because that was really inspiring to see people who were younger than me being able to teach me something about something that
Never too late. Never too late for anyone to start taking Asian American Studies courses.
Hi, y'all. I'm Anna Kai. I'm from UCLA. Something that I want is for people to just get aware of the local issues around them. So that's something I learned is that in Manila town in San Francisco, that there are still like housing rights issues, and the group Manila Town that gave the presentation I went to, they're giving tours of the Filipinx community, and they're still working for the city to clean up dilapidated housing and for more parks and for better schools in Filipino town, Manila Town in San Francisco. So something I learned from the workshop is that like my voice does have an impact if I call into the city or if I submit a public comment saying that this is an issue the city can care about. So I hope that people can learn more about their local issues and that we can actually get involved in what's right around us and know that even if we might not live in a neighborhood that's hurting, that we're still tied to it and we can still care about it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Megan and I'm from UCSC. So one thing I brought up is that I really wish when we go into the future in a more just society is that we're all just much more curious about each other. That we're able to talk to each other and be genuinely curious and question each other and just learn about each other's cultures and our stories and realizing that every single person has a story and it's unique to everyone. But these stories are all intersectionalities of each other because we're all living lives right next to each other. So just being able to ask each other questions and to learn from each other and respect that, not try to always dismiss each other, that would just make it much more just.
Hi, I'm Jules from SJSU, and I attended the Mojo workshop, Stand Up and Fight Back, and that was a really important workshop for me because I saw the importance of youth-directed organizing. We took a critical look at the U.S. school system and challenged the assumptions, and we shared our stories about our experiences in it and people who were immigrants and older folks who had different experiences with the school system. So for me, learning that we need to really be organize ourselves into youth-directed movements like Mojo does, like my organization Peninsula Young Democrats does, I think, and as Greg talked about today, was really valuable for us.
I think we'll ask our next question now. Michael, would you like to ask the question?
Yes. What is a tangible action that you will do after the conference? So discuss with your neighbors for a few minutes.
Please wrap up your last sentence with your neighbors. I think we have someone here who'd like to start off the sharing. Would you like to start?
Oh, love it. But, hi everyone, my name's Violet. I'm from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I got my spot right here. But if you guys don't, or if y'all don't know, Cal Poly is a predominantly white campus, so there's a lot of very different experiences coming from, like I come from the Bay Area, so it's very diverse. But one tangible thing that I'm going to do after this conference is I work with Multicultural Center, so I'm really inspired after the workshop I just went to bring together the Muslim Student Association, Chinese Student Association, and Japanese Student Association to come together and talk about issues that all affect each other so that they can learn about the struggles and experiences that they have to build and advance the community.
Thank you, Violet.
Would anyone else like to share?
Hi everyone, my name is Jean. I'm fourth year from UC Santa Cruz. So shout out to all the Banana Slugs and my Casa fam. And so one thing that I'll be doing after this workshop and my conference would be to be more critical of the news sources that we receive in our media outlets, either social media or on TV or tabloids and whatnot. And at the same time, like I mentioned this earlier in the first workshop, the By All Means Necessary, that there's one particular TV station in the Philippines called TV5, which is actually siding with the president right now, President Duterte. It's because pretty much like the press secretary used to work for that TV station, so they're in cahoots together. And so at the same time, I actually receive their news and live streams, and then I just see like, oh my goodness, it's like always praising about him and like nothing about the negativity and also like about the extrajudicial killings. So we actually have to acknowledge more on what kind of like stories we receive and be more critical, and at the same time get involved outside of the media and be part of the grassroots organizations such as Anak Bayan. That's all. Thank you. Hey.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to share?
Hi, I'm Shanae. I work for the student-run newspaper at UC Santa Cruz. After this conference, I want to do more reporting on Asian American issues through the lens that I learned about today. I think that's really important to give Asian Americans space in the media, even though it's not a mainstream newspaper, but I still want to give us that space.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ben. I go to Urban High School in San Francisco. One thing that I'd like to do as a senior going into college, I think if I go to college in California, I went to my third workshop, the School to Prison to Deportation Pipeline, which was really great. I think working with APSC as well as with Roots, with API prisoners in California would be something I'd really look forward to do.
Hey, thank you. Very one excited person over there.
Hi, my name is Alice. I'm a first year from UC Davis. Thank you. Y'all got me. But for today, I remember like my first workshop was a comfort woman workshop, and then my second one was on environmental justice in the Philippines. And I think I was really like able to. I was like particularly really emotional and like inspired by just really remembering how our history, like the stories of women of color, and how like the stories that women of color carry on their backs, and it's just how it really, I guess, reinforced that sexual violence really enabled colonization and like everything we have now. So I feel like it's really important to like reflect within yourself about like just everything you learn and read more stories and like listen to more and like uplift these like stories of marginalized or folks of marginalized identities. And I feel like most of us come from like college campuses, and like even though it's really important to like just further campus efforts in terms of a lot of these things, I think it's also important to like keep, even when you graduate, and keep going. Like organizing is not like a one-time thing, like a fad. Like it's a like lifetime struggle that like we keep going, and we stand together with like folks of color and like folks who've really built like movement for a lot of APIs. So it's important for us to keep organizing, mobilizing, and decolonizing.
Hi, my name is Meilani. I'm from UC Berkeley. The first workshop I went to today was on Utopia, which is the LGBT Polynesian Council or cooperative to help with those issues. And one of the main things that stood out to me is I'm always a proponent of the mix between API. I never understood it because it's such a diaspora. We come from two very different cultures and backgrounds and customs and understandings. And so I guess one thing I'm taking from that workshop, and I'm going to apply to my work at Berkeley with all of my colleagues that I brought with me today, is not only focusing on how we differ, but then realizing how much alike we are and how we can grow from those similarities and how we can grow throughout our campuses by being so similar whilst having our uniquenesses as well.
Thank you.
Okay, last one. Hi everyone, my name is Manmeet, and so I'm really excited to just say that this is an amazing community we've created here. And so a collective action that I'd like to present to you all is we're going to have a Race on Campus conference at the University of Redlands on March 11th and 12th. Redlands is a little far away, it's about a 6-hour drive, but we drove up here to come hang out with you guys, so hopefully you guys will come. You guys will come to us and participate in similar conversations and create an even stronger community down in Southern California to talk more about what race looks like on campus and how campus activism can really create safer spaces for students of color to participate and educate themselves. So obviously we're all family here now, so hopefully you guys will come down and visit us this coming March.
Thank you. I think now we just wanted to open up the space for anyone to share anything that they'd like.
Alright. Hey y'all, my name is Marissa Bang. I'm currently a senior at Edison High School right now. Hey, thanks for the support, y'all. I just personally want to give a shout out to my parents who drove me all the way out here from Fresno. I feel like I'm more privileged than a lot of my peers to have supportive parents to be driving me all the way 3 hours out here to be joining an Asian American conference. I was talking to Kathy here about the moment I walked into this auditorium, just the community I come from. I don't see a lot of API communities or folks out and talking about political issues, advocating on political issues. The exact things that we're doing here. So just walking in here and seeing that, in a sense, we have this whole community behind me where I know that, you know, I have support somewhere in California that if I'm ever stuck anywhere I can reach out to. It's an amazing feeling to see that, you know, I'm not the only one. So regarding like what action I'm going to take and what I've learned here, it's definitely how much of the API community is involved and cares about what's going on in the US right now. And definitely seeing if, hopefully, maybe we just need a platform in Fresno to start the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Serena. I'm from Fresno too. Where you at, Marissa? There you go. You inspire me. Okay, I'm from UC Santa Cruz. Let's just make that clear. Okay, Marissa. I just want to say that you're right. Everything that you're saying is so true. In Fresno, there is in Edison High School. I'm an Edison High School alumni, by the way. Yeah. So I just want to say I'm proud of you. You're starting something, and you're getting more involved than I ever was in high school. And it makes me want to cry right now, but I'm not going to cry. I'm hoping. You know what? I want your contact information. And you know, I don't know what college you're going to, but you know, Santa Cruz here. Give me your number.
We have someone in the front mic up. Sorry to interrupt the cuteness.
So my name is Lene. I am from UC San Diego. I'm actually from Hayward, California, though. I don't know. But I just wanted to share this thought that I had. So I realized that a lot of the dialogue that I've been having has been surrounding not like bringing communities together, but also like how we educate other people and how we get through to people. And something that I found to be really effective that I'm going to suggest like becomes a community guideline. I don't know how that works, like if there's like a community guideline board or what, but I always preface like my social justice speeches with like, we all have internalized prejudice. Because once you start talking to people about race, about sexism, about homophobia, they're like, I'm not racist, don't call me racist, I'm not sexist. So like I think it's important to like acknowledge that we have implicit biases and that they're gonna show. Yeah, so like maybe including like prefacing our social justice like education events with like we do have these biases and I understand that, or we do have these biases and it's a growing space, and just to remind people to acknowledge that so that we can deconstruct that and move in a positive direction.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else who would like to share any thoughts that you have?
Hi, what's up, everybody? My name's Eddie, repping Oakland, California. Also running with the Spot Youth Center. I see y'all. Yeah, I just really wanted to say that I'm like hella excited. You know, it's hard to tell, but I'm hella excited to continue dreaming of like an alternative reality and not just like alternative facts. I see I got you. Because like I'm so excited to see the ways that we continue to not only struggle together, but also the ways that we continue to build and cultivate together. And not just like in the ways that we operate our organizations and our programs and all the services that we provide, but the ways that we contribute to a culture that is like, because people are saying like we're not going to normalize the hate for Trump, right? But I'm trying to take it a step up, like how are we going to redefine what normal is for all of us, you know? So I'm excited to continue building with all of y'all, because I can't wait to see each and one of your faces, or not if you're photo shy, but just doing something, whether it be just checking in and asking somebody how they're doing, but like actually really asking how they're doing. I mean, so yeah, check.
We have one last one. You're the final one person. Hey.
Hi, my name's Pat. You can call me Pat. I like to tell people that's my white name. It's because I grew up in Texas, they couldn't say Pat or whatever. But I'm a graduate student from UC Santa Cruz. What's up? And I really want to say I love the infectious energy here. I almost cried during the panel because it was super inspiring to me to see these activists who have been at it for like 50 years. But you know what? We're the activists now. And here's the thing, like, we have really positive energy here. We have Eddie's fucking excitement. Like, we got all of this really good vibes. But I want you to remember to hold on to that when you don't have good vibes. Once we get out of this hall, it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be fun. You may not feel the same amount of support as we do here with this group. The world has changed a lot, even within the last week. And I want everyone to remember, like, when you are feeling down, when you are feeling like you can't do shit, and Trump is just like, doing his thing, like, you need to be strong in that moment too. Not just when you're feeling the positivity here, not when you're feeling and learning about activism, you need to practice it in your everyday life. So I want to charge you all with, holding on to this energy and holding on to this positivity once you go out there and when it gets bad. Because if it gets bad, who's going to make it better? We are.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing all of that with us. And I think a lot of people mentioned it, right? But I hope you can stay connected to the people that you met today. Maybe we can create like a Facebook group or something. Like, I don't know each other is. But yeah, we can do that. We can do that for you. Facilitate that relationship building. But I think we just wanted to kind of close off by just saying that we hope that you are able to take away some piece of knowledge or some action that you want to do after the conference. And maybe if you don't even know the exact details of what that entails, like that's also okay. But if you feel inspired or empowered to at least having this conference to work towards a more just world, kind of referencing something that Greg had said in his keynote, like I think a lot of folks right now don't know exactly how we're going to resist the policies that hurt our communities, right? Like people are just still trying to figure it out. So we don't know exactly what we're doing just yet. But the thing is that we're committed to doing that work and to connecting with others and to make sure that we're serving and protecting our communities.
Yeah, and to close up, we wanted to reflect a little bit on our experience in planning LTS. So 21 years ago, students at Stanford felt the need to increase the visibility of Asian American students on campus, and it is through their work and the work before us that we were able to really put together this meaningful conference today. Not only do we want to emphasize that we are building off the work of those before us, but we want to recognize the collective effort that a whole conference planning team, we want to recognize the collective effort that our whole team has put into this conference. And while we and I might be the ones up here, our whole team has been doing all the behind the scenes work, and they don't really get recognized as much. So let's give them a round of applause for that.
Without them running around, running errands. So it really is all the work of the whole team.
And we think there's a power in collectivity, and by working with others, we were able to make our vision about 6 months ago become a reality. So we'd really like to thank our LTS 2017 planning team again. Thank you so much.
Now, I know V and Mike Ha are extremely humble and they thank the entire team, but what we haven't done is thank these two wonderful people who have put so much time, effort. I know they've been extremely stressed these past couple of months, but they did it all because they really care about social justice issues and us as Asian Americans and students, and we just want to thank them so much for all of their effort. So we got you flowers.
This is Jason and Savannah, our wonderful logistics co-chairs, making sure that the conference runs smoothly. So actually, to close up, we wanted to invite our dear friend, John Carlo, to come up here to lead the Unity class for us. In the spirit of community and being interconnected to those around us, we thought it'd be a really powerful way if we were to end the more conference content part with the Unity class. But John Carlo can tell you more about the history of the Unity class in case you might not know about it.
All right, everyone, we give one more round of applause for the organizers of LTS. All right, to tie it back to the theme of LTS, no history, no self, no solidarity. I remember, going back in high school, growing up in LA, I remember learning about the United Farm Workers Movement, right? But I never learned about the contributions by Filipino laborers, Filipino farm workers there. Oh, thank you for the snaps, thank you for the snaps. And I am putting my Chicano friends on blast. I'm putting on blast those who write the history books that teach our kids, that teach me, right? That teach me that I had no history as a Filipino, as a brown person of color in America, right? And the history I had to learn was the history of those who don't want me on their playgrounds, who don't want me in their schools, who don't want me in those institutions of power. And to connect back to the history of the Unity Club, started by the Filipino and Chicano farm workers in the 1960s in Central California and Central Valley. See, these farm workers, they spoke different languages. They spoke Tagalog, they spoke Spanish, but they knew something, and they knew that they had to band together, they had to stand together and fight for their rights. They knew that working 10 hours a day, blistering sun in Central Valley, breaking their backs to farm grapes, to farm artichokes, that wasn't right. It wasn't right for them to kill themselves over this, which is barely the amount of wages to live, right? And they bound together and formed the United Farm Workers Movement, Cesar Chavez, Lariat Leon, Philip Vera Cruz. And even though they had these these language barriers. They came from different countries. They still bound together, right? And now they give inclusion to this history lesson. And what they came together at the end of every meeting, at the end of every labor movement meeting, they had a unity club. And in Tagalog, they called it the Isang Bagsak, which means one fall, one down. And I wanted to share this tradition. Some of y'all are familiar with it, some of y'all don't, but I wanted to share this message of solidarity, this message of unity, this message that, if one of us falls, we all fall, but we all rise at the same time too. And that's just a beautiful message. That's just something that I want all of us to remember as we leave this conference and as we go back to our communities, to our homes, and as we continue, preaching this message of no history and no self, no solidarity. All right, so to give a recap of how the unity clap, Isang Bagsak, begins, we start off by a slow clap to the beat of our hearts, just a slow clap. And then at the very end, it'll keep going faster and faster and faster and faster. And then, so I guess I'll begin, I'll say Isang, and then in response, I want the crowd to say Bagsak and do one final clap. All right? Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Everyone, stand up. If you're able.
Let's do this, y'all.
And with that, Michael and I would like to thank you for coming to LTS 2017. Please go enjoy your dinner and come back for Dumbfounded. Hey!